Hello and welcome to this News 9 special where we build up to the match between Mumbai Indians and Punjab Kings. And the news coming from the middle is that Mumbai Indians have won the toss and they have expectedly opted to field. Joining me in today's discussion is my colleague Nikhil Nara. Nikhil, today is the 23rd day that a team has won the toss and opted to bat first. Is it a superstition? Is it a strategy? What is it?
It's gone beyond strategy, Abhishek. It has clearly gone beyond strategy 23 times in a row in this tournament. It is a record. I mean, how can you always want to field first? The venue is Pune. Fielding first is not an advantage here. It's 2-all to batting first and chasing at this venue. Dew is not a factor here. Then why would you blindly win the toss and chase? It has become a sort of a norm, and I think teams are little scared and wary of breaking that norm. Because chasing is an advantage, yes, they are blindly following the norm without assessing the pitch and conditions. That is my understanding.
Right, and Mumbai Indians, they have one change in their 11. Taimel Mills is back and Ramandeep Singh is out. I mean, that is quite an expected move because Ramandeep Singh was not that effective in the match that he played, the previous match that he played. Taimel Mills, he brings in loads of experience with his left arm pace, and he might prove to be a greater partner to Jasprit Bumrah than Ramandeep.
Also, we'll see later in the show, MI has a death overs problem, a big death overs problem. And Taimel Mills is an expert in the final 4 overs. He's known for bowling Yorkers. He also picked a lot of wickets in the final 4 overs. So therefore, they want someone who can partner Bumrah in the death overs to pick wickets, to control the flow of runs. And therefore, I think they've gone back to Mills.
Yeah, and before we go more into the playing 11 of Mumbai Indians face an acid test, and this is the 11. If they are to finally win their maiden match, this is the 11 that needs to make it happen. Rohit Sharma is the captain. He has not been that successful. Ishan Kishan is their top performer so far. He has been brilliant. Surya Kumar Yadav better than the rest, but not in his usual flow. Tilak Verma, a great choice, great youngster. Dual Brevis, Baby AB yet to fire. Kieron Pollard only 47 runs in 4 innings. Basil Thampi, expensive, but he is being persisted with. Murugan Ashwin, a great spinner, great mystery spinner, but he has not been economical too. Jasprit Bumrah, the most talented bowler in this lineup. Taimel Mills is back in place of Ramandeep Singh. Jaydev Unarkar, so 2 left-arm pacers there. Nikhil, this Mumbai Indians 11, do you think they have it in them to turn things around? They are lying at the last spot in the points table. They are the only team who are yet to win a match in the tournament. I mean, a big test coming up for Mumbai Indians. What do you think? Starting from this man, Rohit Sharma, because he has not been firing also.
Absolutely. It's a big test, but remember they are the most successful team, not only in IPL history, but in T20 cricket history. Success in the IPL, success in the defunct Champions League T20. It is a very, very successful team. They seem like they're building for the future, but they would not, give up this edition without a fight. They were in the same situation in 2014, losing their first 5 matches in that edition and still made it to the playoffs. So Mumbai Indians, they have it in them. They're hurting. Their pride is hurt. Ego is hurt. Today, I think Rohit Sharma and Pollard need to step up the game. Old stalwarts, good friends, good camaraderie, leaders. They need to step up the game to fire for Mumbai Indians.
And for those joining us right now, the news from the middle is that Mumbai Indians, they have won the toss and they have opted to field. It's a match between Mumbai Indians and Punjab Kings. They have won the toss, and I repeat, they have opted to field. This is the 23rd time in this IPL that teams which has won the toss, they have opted to field first, and it's a record. Mumbai Indians have effected one change. Taimel Mills, left-arm pacer, replaces Ramandeep Singh. Taimel Mills will be partnering Jaydev Unarkar and Jasprit Bumrah. Punjab Kings, meanwhile, they are in with an unchanged 11. They have won 2 matches, and 2 out of their 4 matches. They are on 4 points. If they win today's match, they can go to the top 4 also, provided their net run rate is great, because total 5 teams are tied on 6 points. It's only the run rate that separates them, and Punjab Kings, with the form that they are in, they are capable of doing that, right? And this is their 11th. Mayank Agarwal, the captain and opener. Shikhar Dhawan, left-handed opener, very experienced player. Johnny Bairstow, power pack player at number 3. Livingstone, another power pack player at number 4. Jitesh Sharma, their wicketkeeper batter, capable of going for the big hits. Shah Rukh Khan and Odean Smith, they play the finishers role. Kagiso Rabada, their leader of the pack, leader of the bowling attack. Rahul Chahar, leg spinner. This has been the season of leg spinners, and Rahul Chahar would be expected to do his magic today. Vaibhav Arora and Arshdeep Singh, the 2 domestic pacers. All in all, going by the current form, this team looks the clear heavyweight than Mumbai Indians.
Absolutely. I mean, this team has a heavyweight. If you see the top 4, the batting lineup, they have a very strong batting lineup. Liam Livingstone is in the form of his life. He, along with Shimran Hetmaya, are the two most destructive batsmen in this IPL so far. Dhawan is short of runs. He has not shown the same form which he did the previous 2 seasons. So Shikhar Dhawan, needs to score. Mayank Agarwal also would like to lead by example. Kagiso Rabada has been a little pale in terms of wicket taking. Rahul Chahar has been the highest wicket taker. And again, like Chahal, like Kuldeep, like Hasaranga, leg spinners have started to rule the roost. And it's also, I'm not surprised that Rahul Chahar is doing well.
Right, and how do you think, because they're batting first, the start will be really important. Mayank Agarwal, at the toss, he said, toss is not really a factor. No changes in the playing 11. We have been playing good cricket. Need to win the big moments. They lost their last match, but against Mumbai Indians, they would fancy their chances. Those 2, Odean Smith, he has been poor with his bowling, but definitely he has been great with his batting. This opening pair, though they have not fired yet, not fired like maybe KL Rahul or Quinton de Kock, Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan, the experience that these 2 guys have, they can, if they fire, another 200 plus total might be on the cards, Nikhil.
Absolutely.
Because the average score batting first at the MCA Stadium in Pune, where the match is being played today evening, is 173 for 6, though Punjab would hope to score much more than that, because if you are batting first, at least you need a score of around 190, 200, though teams with a score of 165 has also won matches. Rajasthan Royals is a main example. There you have it. Big outfield at the MCA Stadium, so spinners might get into play. It might play to the advantage of Punjab Kings because they have Rahul Chahar. Average score batting first is 173. Teams batting first have won matches there. They have won, in fact, 2 matches. Fast bowlers have advantage
in the power play.
The power play, and both teams have senior pacers. Kagiso Rabada for Punjab Kings, Jasprit Bumrah for Mumbai Indians. So how do you think it should play? Because dew is also not a factor. How do you think that should play? Conditions should play out today?
I mean, it is a wicket which assists fast bowlers in the power play, which also has a lot of runs. Pune wicket has been very true. The ball comes onto the bat. There is pace and bounce. The leg spinners also enjoy the bounce and the carry. So it's a wicket which offers everything to every sort of category of player. Having said that, I think the team batting first does need 180 because chasing has been an advantage. Also, these 2 teams don't necessarily have, I would say, the best bowling units in the tournament. They have some world-class bowlers. There's Rabada, Chahar, there is Bumrah. But unlike Gujarat Titans, unlike Rajasthan Royals, who have, let's say, 4 world-class bowlers each in their units, these teams don't have, as many world-class bowlers, and therefore they need the extra cushion. Therefore, they need the extra cushion of 10 to 15 runs. So therefore, Punjab Kings would hope they score at least 185 today.
And Punjab's batting is clearly their strength. You can see team has crossed 180 thrice, mainly due to the influence of likes of Liam Livingstone, who has scored 2 half centuries so far. Odean Smith, Shikhar Dhawan is there. All these players, but their bowling, their economy is 9.23, which is the worst in the tournament, right? It's criminal to have that bad an economy. And Rahul Chahar, leg spinner, is their only standard bowler. Despite the presence of the likes of Kagiso Rabada, this is the condition of Punjab Kings bowling, which clearly needs to step up today.
Absolutely. See, Chahar has stood out. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's taken 7 wickets. This man has been a disappointment. Harpreet Brar, economy of 12. Economy of 12. He was one of the most restrictive spinners in the previous IPL. So, he's been a disappointment. Rabada also, an economy of almost touching 9, not picked many wickets. He's gone a bit off color since last season. Since Nokia took over the reins of Delhi Capitals, Rabada has, just gone. He's not at his best. So yeah, they need to pick up on their bowling, the worst economy rate in the tournament. So it's time. Punjab Kings will score runs, but it's no point scoring 180 when your bowlers can't defend it. So therefore, the bowlers need to do something for the Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings, have this problem in the past also. They've had great batting lineups. The likes of Maxwell, I remember Sean Marsh, KL Rahul, but they've always sort of struggled with their bowling. And we know historically, Abhishek, teams which have stronger and more consistent bowling units do well in the IPL. If you see MI, CSK, SRH in the past, teams which have stronger bowling units and batting units counterintuitively do better in the IPL. And therefore, Punjab Kings just need to be a little careful. Don't get overconfident just because you have, world-class batsmen. You need good bowlers to defend a target.
And today is a day when Punjab Kings' bowlers will fancy their chances, because surprising to say, they are facing Mumbai Indians, who have been really poor. It is one of their worst starts ever in IPL. They have lost 4 out of 4 matches. It seems they have invested all their money and effort on the future. They have guys like Tim David and Jofra Archer, who is not even playing, and Baby AB. There you have it in the middle order, barring Surya Kumar Yadav. Their average is 11.7. In T20s, their average is 11.7, Nikhil.
Yeah, and the strike rate is barely in the mid-120s.
And this guy, he was supposed to be the linchpin of their middle order, but he has scored only 47 runs in 4 innings.
See, what happens is, this is very interesting. In 19 and 20, 2019 and 2020, when MI won successive titles, Abhishek, they had 2 great all-rounders who were behind that win, apart from the Bumrahs, the QDKs, etc. Hardik Pandya and Kieron Pollard, won them at least 7 matches each. I mean, they were producing cameos from the lower order, 40-20 balls, 60-40 balls, making the impossible possible. Hardik Pandya is no longer in this team. He's the captain of Gujarat Titans, and Kieron Pollard is not performing. So they have basically lost out on 2 of the most destructive hitters in the lower order. And that is why MI is one of the big reasons why MI is suffering. Pollard is huge. If Pandya is not there, Pollard has to be the finisher. And he's not done anything except for 1 match in which also he got 2 of the 6s were edges. But Pollard hasn't, he's not been a patch of the destructive Pollard he has been previously.
And truly, I mean, not every day you can count on youngsters like Tilak Verma, to get you those runs. He's really talented, but he lacks experience, and it's really unjust to expect him to fire every day. And it's not just a middle order, even at the top order, Rohit Sharma has not performed, Baby AB is yet to, transform him to a bigger avatar, he has not really performed. So problems lie in the batting and problems lie in their bowling too, because their economy at the death overs, it's the worst. It's over 13, which is really poor, because death overs is the time which really decides whether a team scores 170 or whether a team goes to 190. I mean, for Mumbai Indian fans, disappointingly for Mumbai Indian fans, it has always been failure in the death overs, right?
Absolutely. See, there's too much pressure on Jasprit Bumrah because there is no other world-class bowler. Who have you replaced? Who is the replacement for Trent Bolt? Unadkat can't be the replacement for Trent Bolt. Daniel Sams can't be the replacement for Trent Bolt. So who is the replacement for Trent Bolt? Tymal Mills is also, Trent Bolt is a world-class bowler. He is the most successful bowler in the power play since 2019. 32 wickets. Who is the replacement? Who is your replacement for your unsung hero, the leg spinner? In 2019-2020, got to 15 wickets at an economy rate of 5, 5.5, 6 in the middle overs. Who is the replacement for Rahul Chahar? Murugan Ashwin cannot be the replacement for Rahul Chahar. As much as talented as Murugan Ashwin might might be, Abhishek.
True.
So they've got somewhere they have got it wrong. I don't. There is, of course, I mean, there has to be a strategy and plan behind why Mumbai Indians have done this. I mean, they have a great think tank.
I mean, they are 5-time champions.
Exactly.
They know something. Maybe their team management might know something, which we don't. But let's go to our next section, and have a look at the players who can turn the match single-handedly. It's called the X Factor players, and for Mumbai Indians, there is one man who can turn around the match single-handedly, and it's Kieron Pollard. I mean, it's high time that this guy performs. The big guy from West Indies performs. His strike rate is 131 in IPL 2022, which doesn't really justify his talent, because he has been their highest impact all-rounder, as you mentioned earlier in the show, Nikhil, that it's the cameos that he and Hardik Pandya played which catapulted them to the championship, the title-winning championship. And his strike rate in the death overs, 184. His strike rate against Punjab Kings, now that is a stat which Mumbai Indian team management might be really happy. Since 2017, his strike rate is 219.
Yes, it's the highest for any batsman who scored a minimum of 150 runs against his opposition.
Right.
He's also scored a lot of runs. His average against Punjab Kings is also above 100, which means there are a number of not outs, obviously. But he has scored, produced many cameos against Punjab Kings, taken a liking to the franchise. Kieron Pollard has to fire today. He's not doing, wonders with the ball either. He's not the same bowler, doesn't have the same pace. He's being taken away for runs. He has to fire with the bat. If that means promote him to number 4, try something different, they need to do that. But Pollard has to fire. He is the X factor. And like Russell, we were all ridiculing Russell. We were saying why has been retained. And Russell did what he did for KKR. That was an absolutely astonishing innings. I think today is Pollard's day, Abhishek.
Right, and before we go to the X Factor of Punjab Kings, an earnest request to all our viewers, do like, share and subscribe to our new channel, News 9 Sports, where we bring to you exclusive interviews, analysis from all around the world. It's just not cricket, F1, hockey, Kho-Kho, Kabaddi, everything, you'll get it there. So do like, share and subscribe. Show some love to our new channel. It's a great channel, where we bring to you special content. And now let's go to the X Factor of Punjab Kings. While the X Factor, our pick for X Factor for Mumbai Indians is yet to fire, this X Factor, Livingstone, he is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day when I was working for Wisden Impact Index, Abhishek.
Right.
And we were doing some team consulting for a team. I won't name the team. And we had recommended, they wanted a hitter. And we had recommended this player when he wasn't known much.
Right.
Through our system, we were mapping all T20 leagues, and his strike rate, his ability to hit the ball, not only in the death overs, in the middle overs. He is not someone who accelerates at the death only. He starts hitting. So his strike rate in the middle overs then also was very high. And since then, we all know what he's done. The fastest 100 in England's T20I cricket history against Pakistan at Trent Bridge. The highest run scorer in the 100. Liam Livingstone, again, phenomenal. He's been phenomenal in this tournament, along with Shimron Hetmyer. He's been absolutely brilliant in the middle overs and towards the death. Liam Livingstone is in the form of his life. If you see what he's done, 162 runs in this tournament at a strike rate of 191, a couple of 50s, destructive 50s, strike rate of 153 in the middle overs, not in the death, which is commendable. So, Liam Livingstone is that player. If he faces even 15 balls, he will change the complexion of the match. And I have rarely seen someone strike the ball so cleanly. When he hits, they stay hit. And even Shimron Hetmyer is a great striker of the ball. But, it seems when Shimron Hetmyer hits, it takes some effort. This guy seems effortless. He hits and they stay hit. So Livingstone, for me, continues to be an X factor, and this could just be his tournament.
Right, and before we move further, for those joining us right now, update from the toss, Mumbai Indians have opted to bowl first at the MCA Stadium against Punjab Kings. Not a surprising choice, because today is the 23rd time that a team has opted to field first. They have replaced Ramandeep Singh, fast bowler Ramandeep Singh, with Tymal Mills, experienced left-arm pacer from England. Punjab Kings, they have fielded an unchanged 11, and they go into the match as the more informed team than Mumbai Indians, who are yet to win a match. And Nikhil, we are talking about the X factors. You mentioned about Liam Livingstone, but I think the strength of this Punjab, because they are batting first, the crucial factor would be even if say Jasprit Bumrah or anybody gets rid of Liam Livingstone early on, they have to contend with Shah Rukh Khan, Odion Smith also, even Jiten Sharma also. The finishers that they have, they don't have just one finisher, they have 3 finishers, and we are not even talking about Johnny Bairstow and Shikhar Dhawan.
Absolutely. Along with, I would say, Lucknow Super Giants, they perhaps have the best all-rounders and finishers in the IPL. So yes, the team, this team has its strength in the batting, as we have said before, and anything less than 185, 190 on this wicket will be disappointing.
Right, and to stop them, what are the options that Mumbai Indians have? Let's have a look at that. Firstly, Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, Jasprit Bumrah is their leader of the pack, as we say. Jasprit Bumrah needs to take at least 1 or 2 wickets in the power play, because Punjab Kings' power play display has been brilliant, right?
Absolutely. Punjab Kings has the highest run rate in the power play, which is amazing and not surprising given their batting lineup. See, Jasprit Bumrah is key, but how Rohit Sharma uses Bumrah is also going to be very interesting, because he needs to preserve Bumrah. He'll definitely bowl 2 overs in the power play, but he also needs to preserve a couple of overs for the death, given the economy rate of MI is the worst in the tournament, above 15 at the death, and they don't have any other world-class bowler. They've got back Tamil Mills, but he hasn't yet set the stage on fire. So Bumrah only has 4 overs, right?
True.
So how he is used is going to be key. One of the battles which I think...
Yeah, I was coming to that.
Yeah.
This is not the only key battle, which will decide today's contest. There are several other key players, and there are several other key battles, which might decide the course of this contest. Starting with one man who is yet to fire, surprisingly, and it's Rohit Sharma. And facing him will be Kagiso Rabada, the talented South African pacer. You can see their head-to-head record: 5 innings, 16 balls, 23 runs only. Wickets, he has also dismissed him once.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent head-to-head with Rabada and Rohit Sharma. I mean, I won't say anyone has the upper hand here.
True.
But this is going to be very interesting, because Rohit Sharma clearly is not quite in form as he was for India. Rohit Sharma, remember when he took over India's reins as full-time captain against New Zealand last year, he started this new strategy of going all out in the power play for India, and he started it. He himself went after the bowling, and then others followed suit. He also started that for MI in MI's first match, but since then the form has dipped. He hasn't scored big runs. Also, if you see Rohit Sharma's career, him as a batsman in the IPL for MI, in the last, if you see 19, 20, 21, he hasn't done much. He hasn't, and whereas in the same period, he has been absolutely brilliant for India. So it is quite interesting. In fact, there have been 12 innings for MI now where he's gone without scoring a 50. So a player of Rohit Sharma's class and ability, one of the greatest batsmen currently in international cricket, I think it's high time, he produces a top knock, and I don't mean a runner ball 50. He needs to produce a 70 or 40 balls, which he does time and again for India. It's time he does it for MI now. So Rohit Sharma versus Rabada will be a key battle in the power play, because both players are slightly out of form. Rabada is looking a little rusty. He is not at his peak. Therefore, it will be interesting to see how they match up in the power play.
And it will take some pressure off Ishan, Kishan as well, right? I mean, you just can't expect Ishan, Kishan to score against talented bowlers like Kagiso Rabada every day. Our second key contest, which we have already discussed in part, it's Jasprit Bumrah versus Shikhar Dhawan, talented opener, left-handed opener, who is also fighting for his place in the Indian T20I team. Jasprit Bumrah, always a part of Indian T20I team, an all-format player. Here also the record is pretty much even Stevens.
Even Stevens, although I would say, Bumrah has a slight advantage because Dhawan hasn't really dominated him. Strike rate of 123 is pretty low for T20 cricket.
Right.
So, it's not surprising because Bumrah is hardly, taken apart by any batsman. Shikhar Dhawan, if you remember, Abhishek, in 2020 and 2021, started as an anchor in both the tournaments midway. Same pattern, midway, he suddenly changed gears and became aggressor. And then scored 500, 600 plus runs at a very high strike rate, scoring consecutive centuries last season. So Shikhar Dhawan, this year has started a bit cold this year, I would say. So he needs to sort of again get back, or maybe he's waiting for mid-season because that is his style. Mid-season suddenly change gears and go ballistic. But Shikhar Dhawan, time has come for him to fire. That mid-season form he needs to now. Time has come because otherwise Punjab Kings might just falter and fall
in the
behind
latter
in the
stages of the
line.
tournament, right? And it's not just about the pacers and openers. In the middle overs too, because the match is at the MCA Stadium where the spinners are likely to get an advantage. Punjab Kings has a talented leg spinner in Rahul Chahar, where Mumbai Indians have Murugan Ashwin. Spinners have been ruling the roost so far, especially leg spinners. And the middle orders, Rahul Chahar versus Surya Kumar Yadav. Rahul Chahar is their highest wicket taker, Punjab's, and Surya Kumar Yadav, in the rot, he has been a bright spot.
He has been absolutely brilliant. The way he's striking, he's in different zone altogether. Right. This is going to be a fascinating battle. Rahul Chahar, the leg spinner, who played for MIs, which means he's bowled a lot to Surya Kumar Yadav in the nets in the last few seasons.
Right.
So they would know each other. Of course, they don't have much a head-to-head record because they, haven't faced each other in the IPL. But they would have faced each other a lot in the nets, and therefore I'm looking forward to this. The ball will go away from Surya Kumar Yadav, but Surya Kumar Yadav, in the form he is, I think he's going to take Chahar apart.
And there's another middle order battle. So Murugan Ashwin, he's not at the same, maybe not in the same class as Rahul Chahar, but how he faces Liam Livingstone and the other Punjab finishers, that will be key. And we have other key battles too, like death overs, Tymal Mills, how he performs against Odean Smith, and also Kieron Pollard, how he faces again Kagiso Rabada, because these are crucial battles. Tymal Mills, he needs to be a good support for Jasprit Bumrah, whereas Kagiso Rabada, he needs to stop Kieron Pollard. He has not been performing well, yes, but nobody can count him out, right? These are the other three contests that will decide the course of the match.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to Pollard versus Rabada, but Rabada will definitely bowl in the death overs, and Pollard comes down low of batting for MI.
And there you have it, the stats.
They see it's advantage Rabada here, strike rate of only 75, and that is very poor given where Pollard bats in the batting order. So today Pollard will need to change that. Today we need MI need the destructive Pollard of before.
Right. And we're discussing the key contest. MI captain stands in front of a massive record. He might enter the 10,000 club in T20s if he scores only 25 runs. He'll be the second Indian after Virat Kohli to reach that mark, and that's a brilliant milestone. And today is a good day to have it because MI are down in dumps, and the captain should lead from the front.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great milestone. Overall, he'll become the 7th batsman if he achieves
it. Yeah, but
it.
this stat, 12 innings without a 50, that is a dampener, right?
That is a dampener. But, Rohit Sharma has been a T20 great. His T20I record, where he has 4 centuries, the most ever in T20Is, is better than his IPL record. But still, a great milestone ahead for Rohit Sharma. But yes, he's currently out of form, 12 innings without a 50. But I'm expecting Rohit Sharma to rise to the occasion today because MI are down in the dumps.
And his run rate in power play, 10, which is really great, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's Punjab Kings run rate in the power play, which is the highest in this league, which is also, one of the, unique stats which stands out.
But that should be a warning sign for Rohit Sharma then.
That is a warning sign for Rohit Sharma. So Punjab Kings run rate of 10 in the power play is the highest in this league.
Right, and as we speak, Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan, they are out at the crease to open the innings for Punjab Kings. And Basil Thampi will be bowling the first over.
I'm worried.
Huh?
I'm worried.
Do you think it will be, I mean, anything can happen. Might be a 17-run over, might be a wicket in the first over. With Basil Thampi, you never know, right?
But you never know. And as I said, they are going to, I think, maybe Bumrah bowls first change.
And he has been hit for a 4 of the first ball.
Oh, God. Signs are ominous, Abhishek. It's a big risk. I mean, Basil Thampi, they are backing because he had space, he has talent. But talent is not everything. There's pressure. This is the IPL. They've lost 4 matches. So let's see. Maybe this gamble pays off. Clearly, they're trying to hold back Bumrah. Otherwise, why will you not open the bowling?
Yeah, I mean, that's a strange call, right?
Death over problem. That is it. There's
I mean, that's the maths, that they're doing because they want to keep just at least 1 or 2 overs from Bumrah, for the death. And Basil Thampi maybe early on. For those of us joining us now, Basil Thampi goes for a boundary of the first ball of this match. Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan are opening for Punjab Kings. The match is being held at the MCA Stadium in Pune, where teams who are batting first, they have also won matches. In fact, there have been 4 matches so far at the MCA Stadium in Pune. 2 have been won by teams batting first, 2 have been won by teams bowling first. So even Stevens, nothing to differentiate the teams there. But starting with Basil Thampi, I'm still worried, because from
another boundary,
right? I mean, starting with Basil Thampi, it's kind of a defensive strategy, right? I mean, obviously, if you are last in the points table, you can't help but be defensive. But still, I don't know. You could have started with Taimal Mills also, though he has also been expensive, right?
Yeah, or Jaydev Unadkat.
Wow, they have 4 pacers, and out of them here they have started with the weakling, I guess.
Yeah, they have. I mean, maybe they're trying to give him confidence that he bowls in the power play. He's good enough to bowl in the power play. If he gets a wicket earlier on, confidence goes up. It's a high risk strategy, but Mumbai this year has been about high risk, investing a lot of money in a few players. It's a high risk game they are playing. Let's see whether it pays off.
Right, and both the boundaries, it has been hit by Mayank Agarwal. He needs to score big also, and he would want to score big. Punjab has a great batting lineup, and the depth in Punjab Kings batting lineup is intimidating, right? And I think that's the reason why he's so aggressive right from the start, because he knows even if he gets out in the power play, Punjab Kings has it in him, to take it forward, to up the ante till the 20th over.
Also, they know that MI will come hard today. MI, unlike CSK, who also came hard yesterday, MI is going to go all out today because MI is hurting. The law of averages says that MI will come up with a good performance, and today might be the day. Also, I remember 2014, they lost 5 matches in a row, first 5. The 6th match was against Punjab Kings. They won that match. They made the playoffs. So today, that trend could be repeated, Abhishek.
Right, for those of us joining us late, do like, share and subscribe to News 9 Sports, our new YouTube channel. We share exclusive sports content there from all around the world. The news from the middle is that Punjab have begun their batting innings on a great note, with Mayank Agarwal hitting Basil Thampi for 2 fours. Nikhil, what's the score? What's the score before we sign off? What's the score that you are predicting today?
Average, what they would need is average score plus 15 to 20. So they need around 195. I think Punjab Kings will score around 190. I think they'll be around the score they want.
So the average score is 173 for 6. Basil Thampi, he has taken a hit in the first over. He has conceded 2 boundaries already, which is worrying sign. They end the first over with 10 runs. Mayank Agarwal scoring the 2 boundaries. Before we sign off, I would like to thank all our viewers for joining. Do keep liking News 9 Sports, our new YouTube channel. The IPL is at an interesting point. 5 teams are on 6 points. If Punjab Kings wins today, they would also be on 6 points. We'll have to wait and watch about the result of the match. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Nikhil, for your inputs. Thank you once again, and goodbye.